gonna be another hot one today. Yep, looks like we got some clouds building from the southwest. Well, that'd be just about par for the course. I think that's now on Monday. July the 11th will be the start of the third week. Pretty much rain every day to some extent. Yeah, and it's currently, about 88. And I think about 70% humidity. Not too bad. Ooh, but the blueberries are loving it. They're loving it so much they just all bent over. They're so full. And I got to get out here and get to picking. Yep. Late this afternoon or early tomorrow morning again. Hey, Lilybit, what you doing up there? I can see you. Oh. Is that you, Cleo? Or is that Speedy? I think that may be Speedy. It's getting hard to tell anymore. Well, hello there, friends and family. Good to see you again on this bright and partly sunny, partly cloudy day here in the deep south of Alabama. And I know I've been missing in action for a few days, partly for several reasons. One of which, and this ain't a pity parade, and I really wasn't feeling all that spunky, you might say. Yeah, for whatever reason. Just a little bit lethargic. Some of it's, I think, I got so much to do, I get overwhelmed. And even I lose track of them. You just got to do one thing at a time. And when you're not feeling good, feeling down, you really don't got the motivation to get up and get her done. Yeah, and I've been struggling with that here the last few days, I will admit. Because I haven't been feeling, jumping down great. I ain't dying either, so don't worry about me. But we've had some weather the last few days as well. Some very strong winds. Some of you may have caught that derecho or whatever they call it in the Midwest. 80 mile an hour straight winds again. Some say even up to 100. It came down through our corn belt. We had some of that here too. Yeah. Friday and Saturday. And thankfully we didn't have no big tree damage. But the garden plantings sort of got their hair messed up, if you know what I mean. If you're a gardener, you'll know exactly what I mean. Things get blowed around. Things get stripped off. Young tender leaves, branches, and what have you. But hey, that's enough chatting for me. If you'd like to, we'll take a walk and we'll check out our garden, see how ours grows, and maybe you'll let me know how yours grows in the comments below the video. And like I say, all you can say about the blueberries is there's just piles of them. Yep. It has been an amazing harvest. And I'm so blessed to have them. Now I am going to come through here and pick the ones that are dried out, because we were in a drought for weeks prior to now. We're in the monsoon season, it would appear. Yep, they are tasty. Pardon me while I munch down on a handful. Well, as you can see, there's a south side driveway garden bed. And the cucumbers have grown to the top of their supports. And now they're trailing back down, as they've always done. Yeah, I'd say right now the vines are anywhere from 15 to 18 feet long. And all kinds of side vines are sprouting out too. We'll look at them a little bit closer. Well, looks like we got a little bit of moisture. Oh, I see something that I didn't see yesterday. Maybe you'll see it too. Right there, look at that. That whole entire top and leaves are just gone. That's not on the pepper that's on my sunflower I had growing up through there. And you can see right there, the poop of whatever was enjoying their feast on my best sunflower. Now they ate the top out of it. So is it doomed? Well, it may sprout from the leaf crotches. We'll just have to see. We've consumed all the peppers that the little lunchbox had. Yep, it only had 4. And it's done nothing but drop blossoms through this extreme heat that we've had here ever since what? Oh, beginning of May, all through June, and now going into July. In fact, June was one of the hottest months for June that I can remember in my lifetime. And that's saying a lot. But yeah, I mean, the lunchbox has got plenty of blossoms on it. You can see one right there with an ant hanging out. He'll be stealing some pollen. Yes, he will. Sweet banana, hiding up under there, hadn't done much. In fact, it and the cucumber plant are sort of becoming one. Well, there's some blossoms right there. Look at there. So we may get some tomatoes, oh, not tomatoes. We might get some peppers yet. Who knows? Didn't turn out to be the best place to plant pepper plant. Right next to the Goliath cucumber plant. But we have one little sort of straggly sunflower left right there. Yep. I would like to know what ate the top out of that sunflower, because I've been seeing a few things here of late. Maybe we'll catch one as we walk about the gardens. And I mean, what can you say about these cucumbers? They've just become massive. And they are loaded up. Even way down low. Look at this one. Whoa. I see one right there. It's got to come out. I also see what I'm thinking may be a pickle worm. Right there. Have to see. There's one that needs picked. There's another one that needs picked. Now, right there it is. Nope, that was a blossom. Sometimes you see things as far as insect damage and what have you, just ain't right there. There's 2 more up there. Oh, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, 6. And I don't know how many more up through the top. Yep, I see another one way up there. See it? Right there. Oh, so there's at least a good, I'll say, 8 cucumbers that we'll have to pick today. We've been looking again for creative ways to use them. One of which we're going to show you in our next cooking video. And as you can see, Mr. Bumble's taking care of business. And there's a ladder, because we'll be using it later to pick those way up yonder in the canopy. Yeah, who'd ever thought? Cucumber canopy, right? Now here we're at our first crookneck squash. It's a yellow crookneck. And because of the heat mostly, we've been having a real problem with pollination. And we've been losing them. In fact, I see another one here that's dropped its blossom. And most likely, it's going to shrivel up and die. Yep. Thinking this one will too. And it's not because of a lack of pollination. As you can see, we got our bumblebees. It's just been the heat. And now that we flip-flop, you know, we've got the heat, we've got the humidity, and now we've got the rain. Lots of rain. In fact, if I were to complain, more rain than what we actually need, as if you can never have too much. Here again, I'm not complaining. Let me show you something on these here beans that will be of some interest. And maybe you'll see it on yours. But you're going to see it right in here. You see, nothing left but a skeleton. Yep. You're going to see right here, there was, and he may still be there. Right there he is. Yep. What's doing that is an army worm. And there he is right there. Yeah. They have came. I've seen a few. But this week, I've been seeing more and more. And here again, there's so many different types. You look it up for yourself. But you know, I know they make a moth. Might be pretty. But he's eating my beans. So we had to put him to sleep. I hope you didn't hear his screams. If you did, oh well. I'm raising beans here. And I can tell just from looking up in here and looking in there, you might see those little black pellets. Yeah, well that would be caterpillar poopy. Not a good thing. Of course it could be locust poopy. Well no, it's caterpillars. Army worms. Yep. And that's how I take care of them. I look for them. Some people pick them off, put them in soapy water. I just give them a little gentle crush between my finger and thumb and leave them with the plant. It'll be okay. But the beans have yet to have the very first blossom. That has been unusual in and of itself. I blame the heat. Now over here at our celebrity tomato, celebrity, that's now to the top of my head, or the brim of my cap I might say. It's full of blossoms, as you can see. But I have yet to find a tomato. Nope. It's dropped a lot of blossoms too, just like everything has this year. And that gets all back to heat. But let's talk about something. Because now that the weather's changed from extremely dry, hot and humid, to now extremely hot, humid, and wet. Yeah. Where we went from no disease, now the disease is coming full bore, especially, during this here mid-season. Yeah. Or mid-season for our growing season. So what are we seeing? Well, you see the brown spots? That most assuredly is Photoria leaf spot. But then you're going to see something else right here. Yeah. And if you looked at this, it would look like the end of a log. You'd see concentric rings that continue out. Yeah, just like looking at a tree stump. And you see the yellowing around it. Yeah, that'd be black. So yeah, we went from having nothing to now we've been having Photoria leaf spot and black. Mostly Photoria leaf spot. And we've been treating it. Otherwise, this tomato would be doomed. Now whenever you treat it with whatever you use, whether you use hydrogen peroxide, the H2O2, which I do. I use regular old from the store Walmart. I think it's 3% hydrogen peroxide. And I put in 16 tablespoons per gallon of water. I spray the top of the leaf and I spray the underneath of the leaf. I saturate it. Yeah, and that will kill the Spatoria leaf spot and the blight. Now I know everybody in the world will say, you know, you're doomed if you get blight. Well, I tested this theory last year, even though I knew it worked. But here on our second yellow crookneck squash, the same thing happens. Plenty of male blossoms. We're finally getting some fruit. But here again, the blossom's not even opening. And if you look closely, you can see this one is starting to wrinkle up and shrivel. Yeah, pretty soon it just fall off too. And the blossom has yet to open, so it can't even try to get pollinated. Nope. And if I tried to hand pollinate it, it's too immature. This is all due to heat stress as well. So maybe with these here slightly lower temperatures, we'll see some squash start to bear fruit as well. Here's another perfect example of the caterpillars just having a fun time on the beans. And of all things, beans and sunflowers, they would appear to act as a trap crop. You know, that's a crop you plant to let the insects devour instead of devouring what you don't want them to eat. And they call it trap cropping. So right now the army worms, they love the beans. Yep. And that's probably what got that sunflower too. Looking at the poop, of course it could have been something else I've been seeing. Grasshoppers, aka locusts. We've got them too. But hey, let's look at what else is going on in our gardens today. Well, I got half of the carport cleaned out. Half to go. Yeah, well, I'm working on it. Let's just see what the temp is here in the carport. Well, it appears we're 88 degrees, 72% humidity. Yeah, just perfect. Well, compared to what it has been, I'll take this. But with the rains, it gets you behind. Yeah, I just mowed the south lawn yesterday evening. Still see the clippings down because I haven't run over the mower on the second pass with the vacuum attached. But I will. Still got to do that there. Trimming. Maybe tomorrow. But we're over here at our tire planters. And you'll notice something new. Yep, it's looking a little droopy too. But what I did here, I put in the table A squash from Haas Tools. And each cell that I'd planted, of course I'd put in 2 seeds. And as you can see, they all came up. In the cell pack, it was a 6-cell pack. So this is 4 cells from that pack, 2 plants each. Don't worry, they're droopy because they're out here in this here blazing hot sun. Yeah, and they're not liking it. Trust me, the ground is very wet, so they got plenty of moisture. Now, I've just been letting them struggle with it. But these will save through the winter if I can get some, which we're going to let them trail off and follow the fence. And we'll cut the weeds down and mulch as the vines grow. So we're looking forward to having some acorn squash for our summer. We're looking forward to having some winter squash to save up for those cold days during the winter months too. And hey, if we do, I'll show you my favorite ways to cook them. A lot of police sirens today. I wonder why. But you've seen what was in this one. This has got our heart of gold cantaloupes from Burpee in it. And look at here. Look at there's a blossom. There's more down in there starting to form up. Of course, they're male. But the vines are looking nice. Yeah, many more blossoms will be coming. And here probably in another week or so, depending on weather, you know, rainfall, temperature, humidity, and all that, maybe we'll see some females come. That'll be exciting. But I do love me a good juicy cantaloupe. Far more than I love watermelons, strange as that may be. And we've been keeping these sprayed down with the H2O, because another thing that's come back that I'll show you a little bit later is powdery mildew. Yep, we suffer from that here too. See, look at all this greenbrier. Sprawling everywhere. I can't eat it fast enough. We're going to be eating some of you tonight, so don't y'all go nowhere, okay? And here we are up at our clay pot, terracotta that is, that we planted the cantaloupe in. No, actually we started all the cantaloupe here. And the ones we didn't plant in the tire planter, we had stuck in this one. And there's 3 plants in this particular terracotta plant. And I know many of y'all grow in containers, so I wanted to see, never had done it, thought it would do okay if cantaloupes would grow. And we got them climbing up the fence. Yeah, if nothing more. It'll look nice. Now you might wonder why we got our black foam around the top there. Well, remember, the terracotta part was broke off, and this is really sharp. It would have cut the vines. So I placed a foam noodle around it to help protect the vines and keep the cantaloupe striving away. I'm pretty happy with it. It's only been over here a few days and it's looking good. But with the rain every day or every other day and how much of it, you get behind. You get behind on mowing. You get behind on other chores. And you switch. You switch from outside to inside. And this here zucchini, which is all sprawled out, that's because it and the wind weren't getting along earlier today. Yep, the wind knocked it over, and I stood it back up. So, it'll take a little bit for everything to sort of stand back up to the sun. But here again, we haven't got the first zucchini. The same situation. Plenty of male blossoms. We got female fruit, as you can see down in there if you look closely. But they've been not even getting up to the point where the blossoms open. Nope. Before they open, they just shrivel up and fall on off. But I keep hoping. And since they say cooler temperatures this week than what we've been seeing, I'm thinking maybe we'll set some fruit. Now, I sure could use me some more yellow squash and green zucchini. I have a favorite dish I make with them that I look forward to every year. Yeah, underneath here we got another cantaloupe. Yep, didn't really realize the zucchini would take over the whole place, but we'll see what it does. We're just letting it trail around. Can't have enough cantaloupe. And there's another. There's a weed. Well, that's actually a new dewberry plant, but we don't want it there. Our cherry tomato, oh yeah, it's looking nice. She's awful tall. Plenty of blossoms now coming on. Yeah, and it actually looks like tomatoes are starting to come on as well. Yeah, right there's one. There's another one. Some more over here. Right there. So it does appear that we'll be getting some tomatoes, cherry ones that is, in the future. Now something I want to point out right here with cherry tomatoes. Normally in my experience, most cherry tomatoes do better with the viruses, the funguses, you know, the diseases, the mildews, than your standard tomato types do. I don't know why that is, but it definitely is. I've experienced it all my life with the ones I grow, and it really don't matter what type or variety. But in watching other gardening channels, I see that as well. Cherries do perform, and I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually two small black cherry tomatoes growing right there. But overall, this plant, other than being rather tall, and that's because of less light, is starting to really shape up and be really nice. And it's had some disease. You can see right here. Look on the back side. But we've kept it at bay with the H2O2 spray. And this is a lunchbox orange pepper, which I'm thinking's gonna get picked tomorrow, because I think it's about as orange as it's gonna get. And you know, we had to pull up the one gypsy. It definitely had mosaic virus, and it just wasn't getting past it. Now, something to know, Victoria leaf spot, or leaf spot in general, affects not only tomatoes, but all the varieties in the nightshade group. And if you don't know, peppers are also a nightshade. Yeah, in the same family as tomatoes. And you can see right there, evidence of leaf spot. You can see it on the back. And we've been treating these as well. Same thing. I sort of let it get a little bit ahead of me on this one. But now we've got it in the rotation. Our bell peppers, as you can see from above, are just doing awesome. Yes, they are. I have yet to see the first pepper. Not saying there might not be one sneaking down in there. I just ain't found it. Because mostly they've just been dropping blossoms too in the heat. And see, when that wind gets up and these get whipping, you'll get some storm damage too, right there. But overall, the bells are looking fine, in my mind. Now in this 6-pack, I'm thinking I planted some Waltham butternut. It was either that or sunflowers. Yeah, I'm thinking it's Waltham butternut though, because I got another 6-pack that I planted same day. I planted mammoth sunflowers and Waltham butternut. So hey, I'll be able to tell the difference when it comes up. Here's, one of the last cantaloupes that we took out of the terracotta plant before we set everything in the ground. It still don't got a home, and I don't know where it'll go. Still thinking about it though. Still looking nice. Now you might wonder what's over in this 4-pack. Well, that is some pumpkins. Yep. That is your Burpee triple treat pumpkins. Only 4 of them. I just put a single seed in each cell. These are cells. This is a pack. And all 4 came up. And should one of the 4 do fine, that'll be all the pumpkins Mr. Tom needs. How many pumpkins can one man eat if one man could eat pumpkins? Yeah, something like that. Uh-oh. I told you wrong. I see the making of a green bell right there. You see it? With the little white stem poking out. Ooh, that's our first, if it'll hang on. But overall, the old raised bed's been doing fine. Chives still hanging in the pot. Yep. That's about all they'll do until they concede next year. No, I see it. A blackberry sprout coming up too. Right there. See it? That's blackberry. Courtesy of the birds. Of course, it's in the all wrong place. That's a brand new one, see? And we could transplant it somewhere, but come on, folks. I got plenty of blackberries growing around here. Not only on my place, but all around close to me as well. Our little tomato starts, they're doing fine. Something keeps coming along and chopping off the tops. I don't need them all, and I'm thinking about moving this little 4-pack, because I had 2 in each cell. Now I've only got 2 in 3 cells, which that's 6 plants. And these are what's called your small cherry basket peppers. Probably will only need 1, maybe 2. How many cherry peppers can I eat? Yeah, the wind got up pretty ferocious last night again. Peppers, they're a little tender. Those winds get to whipping, they'll start shredding leaves. And we haven't picked our gypsies yet, because I've been waiting to see if they were going to turn a little. And I'm still waiting. But man, they're now larger than my hand. And this plant looks like it's gonna get past the mosaic virus, because I'm not seeing it up here on the new growth like I was seeing it on the new growth of that plant that was in the middle. Yeah, I hate to pull up and destroy a plant. Sometimes you got to do it. Sometimes it's better to lose one than lose them all, as you can see. And there's our another cantaloupe plant. Yeah, I got a lot of cantaloupe, and I need to do something with that one too. And here in this 6-pack, nothing sprouted up, is either the walking butternut or the mammoth sunflower. Haven't come up yet, but I just put them in the ground Thursday, so it's not time. Now this cantaloupe is doing exactly what I wanted it to do. It's leaving its home here in the old raised bed, and it's going to start trailing out here amongst the pine needles and stuff, and we'll see what it does. If it wants to go over and join the pine trees and fence over there, it's more than able, and has my permission too. Ooh, don't know if you'll see that, but there is the state bird right there at the base of that pine tree. It's on the ground. Rather unusual. Let's see if we can sneak up on her, because it's a her, because she's not as brightly colored. Nope, she flew on off. They're beautiful birds. Don't know if you saw the way their breast was. The male has a yellow and white breast with the brown streaks, where the female is as you saw it. It's like an off-white with the brown streaks. Whether it's a female or a male, they're truly beautiful birds. And my feathered friends. Yep, that would be the yellowhammer, the official state bird of Alabama. Ooh, look at this greenbrier. This is a brand new one. Yeah, nice and green. But those spikes, thorns, are already sharp as spear points and hard enough to poke you. And as you can see, we got the mower out of the carport. Deck's back on. And she's doing a fine job. She's loving her new blades. Yep, once we get done this time, we're going to see about giving her a wash job. Yeah, spruce her up a little bit. We've had her a long time. Now over here at the east, okra and cucumber planting. You get the theme? It seems we're in the cucumbers and cantaloupes, mostly. Then beans, squash, tomatoes. Yeah. Those are our crops this year. Or so far. But yeah, these are the pickle bush by Haas Tools. And they're already sending out their little tendrils and climbing for the sky. And these are a pickling cucumber. And they'll be smaller, stubbier, and have little thorns on them as well. You know, those little spiky things. But they're primarily developed for pickling. Yeah, I think they stay crunchier too. But I'm going to test that out this year, if I can. If everything works out. If my salad cucumbers keep producing, and I got pickled cucumbers too, yeah, I'm going to pickle up some salad ones and pickle up some pickling ones. And our okra, other than, you know, bugs eating it from time to time, which was primarily grasshoppers and some of those there army worms, it's been doing really good over here. And let me show you, we're about to have, or begin to have, some okra too. You can see it right here. Yep, those will be flower blossoms. They will blossom, they'll get pollinated, they'll close up, and they'll form okra pods. So it's coming. Here's more on this plant. More right there, as well as the fourth. So yeah, for one little person, I'm gonna have plenty, I'm thinking. And all down through here, you can see we planted some of those there pickle bush. And they're coming up, climbing on the okra, which I wanted to see if they would. And they are. Because that's something for in the fall. You know, especially next year. If I put in a line of okra, you know, row, in what's going to be the renovation of my old garden plots. Yeah, come fall time, you know, early fall, I'd like to put in a end of season cucumber plant. And what better to let them climb up than the okra stalks, which get quite tall. Way over my head they do, normally. So the okra overall is doing a fine job too. Looking fine. It's no longer wilting in the blazing summer sun. As you can see, it got over that. At least for now. We'll see. So we'll walk over here to our final cucumber planting. Yeah, we got 3 of them. And this is the Burpless Beauty by Burpee. Now, I've grown it before. It's been around a long, long time. But you want to talk about a delicious cucumber that don't mess with you. This would be this one. And it's finally starting to have several cucumbers on it. There's Mr. Bumble working away. We'll just stay down here where we can see without a ladder. There's one, there's one. Let's see here. Oh, there's one right here. And look at here. Last week we just had little bitty babies. So they're coming on. Thanks to Mr. Bumbles. But we're having a problem, and this comes every year. Whenever, you know, we always have the high humidity. But, you know, it would be like an epic day if we had humidity actually under 50%. But you're going to see right here, you'll see this here area. Looks sort of grayish white. Yes, my friends, that would be powdery mildew. And it just loves cucumbers. It also loves beans and squash. Yes, it does. And I hadn't seen any of this year. Of course, I knew it was coming, especially with, you know, the rain every day or every other day, as we've been having, now going on the 3rd week. And that's when you'll see it. And it'll look like gray to white, almost like foam patches on your leaves. You'll know it when you got it. See it right there? And then the leaf underneath those gray will turn yellow. And you'll see the little segments that make up the leaf. So yeah, we have powdery mildew. It's not on the front cantaloupe. It's not there on the one on the east side. Just here on the one on the northeast corner of the house. Well, these actually face true north. But there, this leaf shows it quite well. See all the little grayish white splotches all over the leaf? Yeah, that's powdery mildew. And how do we treat it as well? Well, that gets back to my hydrogen peroxide solution. It too will take care of powdery mildew. Now, once it's been on a leaf and discolored it, the leaf ain't coming back. You know, this one here was polluted with it pretty bad before I discovered it, because it'd been raining, and plus wasn't really feeling up to checking on the garden every day so often. Sort of let it get past me for a little bit, but then I treated it yesterday. So we got it stopped for now. Oh, looky there, I didn't see that one. Woo! My Lord, that one's over 8 inches long. And the last time I grew these, I had cucumbers that were over 12, some 14 inches long. And now I don't mean they were that big around. No. That's another thing about this particular variety, is if you keep an eye on them and pick them when they're slim like that, you won't even see the seeds. So you got to keep your eye on it. And that one's looking like dinner time to me. But overall, cucumbers are doing fine. Yeah, I got to find somebody to give some away to. I'm thinking. But lastly, we'll go up and check the old clothesline pole. Because if you notice, you might wonder what all the brown in the grass is. Well, that's the seed from my centipede. And I purposely try to let this do this every year. Yeah, centipede seed is expensive. So I let it do this. I let them dry. I don't bag it. I come through with the mower. I got a set of high lift mulching blades on. I mow and disperse the seed throughout my lawn. Yep. Reseed it. It does for free. And if you don't think centipede seed is expensive, look it up online. You'll see. It ain't cheap. Well, oh yeah, look at these tomatoes. And they're about up to the brim of my head as well. We've had to tie them up again, and we're about to have to tie them up another time. And we've been seeing all the same things here. Been seeing this Powdery leaf spot. Some evidence there of blight. So once and twice a week, you got to hit it with the hydrogen peroxide. You see, it doesn't prevent it, it just kills it. Yeah, and that's how I approach it. Let's see, there's 3 tomatoes. There's 2 more up there. Woo! We got 2 more right there. That would give us 7, and I saw some others in here. But I'm not going to dig through all this. If you're watching, you can see there's an awful lot of blossoms. It's dropped a lot of blossoms as well. And as always, the lower leaves show the leaf spot and blight first. And that's because it does reside in our soil. And people will say, well, don't plant tomatoes where you planted them last year. Yeah. Well, that's exactly what I did. And you can see we're still getting it. That's because it just isn't where you plant the tomatoes. It's all over the place. And it overwinters in the soil. At least down here in the deep south. You know, you live further north. At some point in time, maybe you don't have to fret with this, because it dies off in the winter time. I don't know, but I'd be interested to know if anybody there lives, you know, Minnesota, Michigan, Maine, you know, far northern states, or even up into Canada, or maybe even the UK too, or in Europe. Do you battle leaf spot and blights on your tomatoes too? But the beans, oh yeah, they on up there. And now they just going crazy. They're everywhere. And this is my Kentucky Wonder rattlesnake pole bean cross beans. They're a hybrid that cross-pollinated right here on the old home place back in 2019. We keep growing them out to see what we can make of them. Yep. Some pods look more like Kentucky Wonder than rattlesnakes. Some look more rattlesnake than Kentucky Wonder. It's sort of a hodgepodge of what you'll get. A mixture, you might say. But overall, the plants look pretty fair. The only thing I've seen on them so far, across my fingers, has been grasshoppers and nothing else. But I hadn't been seeing any blossoms till just this week. Let me show you. There's one right there. There's one right here. And many more to come. Overall, the celebrity tomato plants are looking really, really nice. The upper growth, I don't see no progression of either the leaf spot or the blight. So hopefully I'm winning the battle. But I knew it was coming, especially here in the deep south. And even if we hadn't got so much rain here the last 2 weeks, it still would have came anyway with the humidity. It was late arriving, but as you can see, it made the trip anyway. But even the leaves that are infected, if you treat it in time, they'll survive. They won't look as pretty, but they'll hang on in there. And yeah, I have trimmed out any that got a little bit too far gone. You know, and you can see it right here on the stems. And once those little dark splotches get to that center stem, well, the whole plant's got it. And it may, even if it don't. Because from what I read, blight, leaf spot, and what have you, doesn't just affect the outer portion of the leaves, it gets internally through its vascular system and moves through it. Yeah. Just like when we get an infection. It moves through our vascular system and infects, continues to grow and spread through other parts of our body as well. Yeah. Makes me think of cancer, really. Like these are plant cancers. But if you've been noticing, yeah, we've been a partly sunny, partly cloudy day. Getting more partly cloudy as the day goes by. It's a little bit past noon now. So we're out here, sweating in the midday heat. The crepe myrtles are simply beautiful, and I showed that to you on a drive we took on the last video. I showed you the whites, the pinks, the purples, the reds, and what have you. Whew. And that was 5 days ago. And as you can see, blossoms are still to open up, and they're still so beautiful. But there will come a time when their blossoms will fade, and the blossom time will have gone away for this year. I'm thinking next year we're going to have a pile of them. Yeah, next year, with all that new growth, which we got to get up there this fall, and pick and choose what we want to keep and what we don't. Well, that's a fall thing. Well, actually winter, when the leaves fall. And right here shows you just how moist, rainy and soggy we've been. All over my property are different types of mushrooms. Right here you can see a type. Of course these are getting a little long in the tooth. Yeah. Let me show you another one that's quite different. This one right here came up beside the crepe myrtle underneath the bird feeders, and you can see its green covering on its top cap. Yep. And then it's got clear white gills. And what's funny, when it rains, because this here cap is curved up, it forms like a little bird bath or bee bath. Fills up water, and I've seen the bumbles using it for just that. Wish I'd have had the camera with me. But those aren't the only two types I found. And if we see any more, I'll show them to you on the ground. But the greatest benefit of all has been to the plants, to the yard, and all. And to the birds. And the bees. Right here's another species of mushroom. That buff brown upper cap, white gill, and you can see something's been eating on it. And that something would be squirrels. Yeah, but I caution y'all, just because a squirrel can munch on it doesn't necessarily mean we people can. And I tell you right here and right now, my Latanya has yet to bloom. Nope, this will be the first year ever. And I think that gets all back to the heat and drought we had at the first of the growing season. The fig is doing fine. Plenty of figs to soon we will enjoy. I don't count them anymore. They're just there. Seem to be one or two or more on every branch. More new growth coming from the rain. You can see it right there. You can tell the new growth just by the color. The light green against the dark. Huh. And there's a little fig hiding under it too. Plenty of figs. We'll lose some to the birds, I am sure. We always do. But we have to share. I may go in after y'all leave and get me a bowl, a big one, and start getting these blueberries picked. Oh, while the sun stays behind the clouds. It'll be just a little bit cooler. Of course, we do have a breeze kicking up from the north. So y'all, there you have it on this hot, humid, partly cloudy, sunny day here in the deep south. And that's how our garden grows. It ain't much, but it keeps me happy and gives me some tasty treats along the way. We've been enjoying a few lunchbox peppers, several cucumbers, much more to come as you saw. And it won't be long before we'll have okra, tomatoes too. And I'm thinking later on, towards the end of summer, we'll be enjoying those cantaloupes too. But you'll see it all here every week, and maybe in between as I share it with all of you. So hey, let me know how your garden grows and what you got going on. And like always, till I, the kitty crew, Spooky, Speedy, Cleo, Mr. Gray, Magoo, sometimes Heathcliff, a little Gracie and a little bit too, See you on the next video. Y'all take care. Stay safe out there, and God bless you as you bless others. Goodbye for now. Whew. I gotta get this mower going. I don't know if it's gonna rain, but it don't got to. It is seriously damp out here. So, let's get her going on. Oh, later all. Where'd Mr. Gray go? Mr. Gray. Spooky, Speedy. Kitty, 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 kitty. Kitty, 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 kitty. What you say there, Mr. Gray? Time to go in? Yeah. I gotta get some lunch too. Okay, you can come with me. Come on, Mr. Gray. Oh yeah, Mr. Gray says it's lunchtime. And I agree. I'm sure Gracie and Lily Bit will too. Now they have still some lunch left. But I'm thinking the two carpet monsters may be ready for some as well. I know I am. I'm a little bit hungry. Well, we'll see y'all. Till next time. Later all.